Adversity is sometimes the best opportunity. Now, I get it. This is somewhat of a statement, but let's get into it and describe this a little bit further, and I'll actually give you a personal example of where I was faced with adversity, and I actually took advantage of it and turned it into a really cool opportunity. You're actually looking at it right now, but I will explain that a little bit more closely in just a couple minutes. Let's get into it. But quickly before we do, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and you can join this amazing community with all of the other amazing hundreds of thousands of people who are already here. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Let's talk through it. So first off, adversity. It could be defined in many different ways. It could be called a difficulty, maybe misfortune, maybe it's a setback, maybe a small hurdle that you need to get over, maybe it's a minor speed bump, or so many other ways that adversity can actually be expressed. But essentially, it's all the same thing. Coming into some time of minor setback toward a goal, or a minor setback as you work your way through just living your life. But now before we get into this, I just want to say, I am not minimizing adversity at all. I get it. There are a lot of people out there who have some real struggles. I get that. I'm not trying to minimize that in any way. But I'm saying, in some instances, adversity can actually be a really good thing and lead to some amazing opportunities. But let's actually talk through it a little bit further. And I just want to make it very clear. I'm not acting like, oh, adversity is a great thing. It's really not. I mean, it's not a great thing. But in some instances, you can actually find some really cool opportunities as a result of being faced with some adversity. You know, a struggle, a short-term struggle. All of us go through it. Don't get me wrong. I go through it all the time. I mean, everybody does to some degree throughout their life. So let's talk through this a little further now. So adversity. When you get faced with a situation, maybe you're working toward a goal, or maybe you're just living your life and all of a sudden something comes up and it's like, whoa, this is not desired. This was not in my plan. Who put that there? I was not planning on this to come up in my life. But here's the thing. If we face these adversities, we kind of take a step back when we're faced with something and we look at it from a different standpoint. We maybe write it down. You know, I actually go through a lot of writing exercises every single day. I do writing exercises in my own life. I just go through these writing exercises. One thing that I found was really helpful. If I'm faced with some type of adversity, some type of short-term setback, I write it down on a piece of paper and I just sit there and kind of think about it. I look at it and just stare at the paper and just be like, okay, is the problem within me or is it out in the world? Is it something that I can face right here, right now? Or is it like a problem that's on the paper that can just literally be solved with a matter of coming up with better strategies and better ideas? Now, here's the thing. I get it. Once again, some things can't be faced immediately because they're maybe internal or things like this. I get it. But I'm saying, some type of adversity that maybe be a little bit external. I can write it down like I do. Write it down and then just kind of think about it, literally. Just spend some time staring at it on the paper and think, what is this? I mean, what does this adversity mean? What does this mean going forward? How can I approach this? How can I take this to a different level? What can I do about this situation? Is there anybody I can approach? Is there a company I can reach out to help me kind of brainstorm on this? Are there friends, family, neighbors, or acquaintances that I can come up with and approach this adversity to them and say, here, this is what I'm facing right now. Do you have any solutions? Do you have any ideas on ways that I can get around this? Is there anything that you can suggest to help me get around this? You never know. Here's the thing. There's a lot of different people out there who have different ideas and different, strategies on how they different approach things. So here's the thing. If you just ask somebody, you might be interested and you might be very surprised with what some people come up with as far as how they face different things. And here's the thing. Maybe somebody that you ask doesn't have the exact solution, but maybe they just so happen to give you an idea that brings you closer to an actual solution. Now, here's the thing. There's so many different ways that we can approach this, but a lot of times, if we're faced with adversity, it's actually a creative state, as in, we put ourselves into a creative state of mind where it's like, okay, I'm faced with this massive problem right now. I don't know what to do. It's time to start getting really creative right now. So we start to put ourselves into this creative mindset where we start to think of all of the different avenues, all of the different ways, all of the different solutions in which we can get around whatever this problem is that we have right in front of us at the time. So it's actually putting us into this creative state where we start to really start thinking on a higher level, on a much higher level, where all of a sudden we're starting to face all of these different creative ideas that we can start playing with. maybe the first idea that comes to mind isn't the solution. That's okay. Maybe you need to run through 100 different ideas, or maybe 200 different ideas, or maybe you need to think about it for, I don't know, a couple days, maybe a week, maybe a month, and play around with all these different ideas and concepts and solutions and different ways that you can approach this and maybe work out something a little bit better. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if you keep going through these thinking exercises in a creative mindset, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, the light at the end of the tunnel has all of a sudden appeared, and now I can start to see a solution for whatever it is that I'm facing, right? Or maybe a way around something that's in your life and you're like, I don't know how to get around this, but maybe if I just keep thinking about it, I'll come up with a creative idea on which, a way that I can actually kind of get around this or kind of work through this in my life. Let me give you a quick example in my life. So here's the thing let me just say this first off. If you didn't know this, if you happen to be new here, I'm actually blind. So I might be looking at the camera. I may be looking way off from it. I don't know, because I can't see the camera. I do have a very bright light right behind the camera, which I try to look at. Sometimes I can see the light, sometimes I can't. Right now, it's just like a big blur in front of me. I think I can see the light. I think I'm looking at the light, but I'm not sure. I could be way off. But here's the thing. Let me do some math. When was that? About 5 years ago. 4 years ago. I'm going to say 4 years ago. I was doing a whole lot of nothing. I'm just going to be honest with you. I was doing a whole lot of nothing. I mean, I was doing a few things, but for the most part, I wasn't doing a whole lot. I was feeling really bad for myself because I was losing my vision really rapidly at the time. I wasn't being able to do a whole lot. I was losing a lot of my independence. I wasn't able to do anything outside of the house by myself. I was feeling pretty bad. But at the time, I started watching a lot of YouTube videos. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I started watching just a bunch of random YouTube videos about all kinds of things. And for some reason, in late 2017, it was 2017, about October, November time of 2017, I came up with this idea. By the way, prior to that, I was a very quiet person, very shy, very quiet. I didn't talk to anybody. I would never go and introduce myself to somebody. Never, ever would I do that. Ever. I would never do that. But here's the thing. Around that time, October, November time of 2017, I decided after watching all these YouTube videos, I said, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't like talking to people. I'm very shy. If I had to stand up and make a presentation in front of a group, oh man, it would be an ugly presentation. I can tell you that much. It was so outside of the box of the type of person that I was at the time. For me to come out and say that I wanted to create videos and put them online for people around the world to watch was like the last thing you would have heard come out of my mouth. But I did it. I said that. Well, fast forward a few months because, of course, when I came up with that idea, first thing that hit me was I was scared. I thought, oh my gosh, I just made a commitment and now I have to do it. And I don't know what to do. I'm very scared. I don't know how to make videos. I don't even know how to talk. I barely speak English, as in I speak English. I'm just saying like I don't speak very well at all. You know what I mean? Like my English skills are very poor at best. And I was just like, what did I get myself into? Well, fast forward a few months, early 2018 at the time, early 2018. I set a goal. I said, I want to have my first video published by the end of the day on April 7th, 2018. I just so happened to be going on vacation that day, and that was the day that it was the night of my first vacation. I said, I'm going to have my first video up that day. I don't care. I'm not stopping. I'm going to do it no matter what. No matter how bad it is, I'm going to do it. So I continue to push forward. At the time, I literally didn't even know how to upload a video on YouTube. Surprising, right? Yes, I know. This is true. This is a true story. So anyway, fast forward a little bit longer. The night of April 7th, 2018, we were actually on vacation. We were actually going on a cruise in the Caribbean. I was standing on the top of the top deck of the Royal Caribbean, what was it? Freedom of the Seas. Adventure of the Seas. Freedom of the Seas. Royal Caribbean Adventure of the Seas or Freedom of the Seas. One of those two ships. I was standing on the top deck. It was about 6:30 at night. It was getting dark. We were in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And I thought, well, this is it. I've got to do it. I set the goal. I have to do it. So we went up to the top deck. I took my wife's iPhone. I have an iPhone sitting right here. Took an iPhone. I held it out in front of me like this. And in like a minute and 7 seconds, I think that's all the longer that video was. It was about a minute and 7 seconds. Something like that. I stood there with San Juan in the background. And I said, I don't even know what I said. It was something really pathetic. Like, this is Matt. I'm going to start this YouTube channel. This is the inaugural video. And I'm going to start out. And here we go. And blah, blah, blah. And then I stopped the video and I was so proud. I was so proud. It was like the worst video in the world. By the way, it is still right here on the channel. If you want to see that video, scroll back to my very first video. It is still up. It's really, really bad. You're going to see me, I think I'm wearing maybe like a white shirt, a white polo shirt. I'm wearing sunglasses because I didn't want to look at the camera. So heaven forbid I would look at the camera. So I thought, I'm going to wear sunglasses so that nobody can see that I'm not looking at the camera because I'm so scared right now. So I did. I wore sunglasses. It was pretty much dark out. San Juan is in the background of my video. I'd encourage you, go back and watch that video. It's kind of funny. Maybe I'll even link it down below because it's so funny. But anyway, I made that video. We uploaded it, and it got like 7 views, which I'm pretty sure was 100% my mom or my dad, probably both of them just clicking play, just to get some views on it to make me feel good about myself. But that was kind of the start of it. And my point is, fast forward, how many years now? 3.5 years? We've been doing this whole thing? Well, here I am, 3.5 years later. A guy that was scared to do anything, scared to film a video, scared to talk in front of anybody, literally, scared to do anything. And I took an adversity, my blindness, the loss of my vision, something that I was really scared about, something that I had no idea how to approach. I turned it into this idea of creating YouTube videos. I literally had no idea what I wanted to talk about. I had no idea how to record a video. I had no idea how to even use an iPhone at that time. I didn't even have an iPhone at that time. I didn't know how to do anything. But I had an adversity, and I said, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to do it. I started doing it. Here I am, 3.5 years later. Hundreds of thousands of subscribers on the channel. Thousands and thousands of videos right here on the channel. And right now, I have no problem sitting down in front of the camera and filming 5, 6, 7, 8 videos a day. Yes, sometimes I film 8 videos a day. I film all kinds of stuff. I have no problem doing this. My point is, I took a major adversity that I was facing, a huge hurdle, a huge setback, a huge misfortune in my life, losing my vision, and I turned it into this massive opportunity where I get to connect with tens of thousands of people every single day through my videos right here on YouTube. It's an amazing community. I love this community. I really enjoy connecting with people right here. I get across my channel about 7,000 to 8,000 comments every single day across all of my videos. I get about 200 to 250,000 views on my videos every single day. If you would have asked me 3.5 years ago when I uploaded my first pathetic video from San Juan, by the way, that's not against San Juan, I'm just saying my video would happen to be in San Juan. My very first video way back then, if I would have been sitting here 3.5 years later with about 300,000 subscribers and about 55 or 60 million channel views across my channel, I would have said there's no way. I would never have guessed that. But here I am. I took this opportunity. I exploited the opportunity and I turned it into something really great. I mean, we have an amazing community here, hundreds of thousands of incredible people here. It's just an incredible experience. I feel like as I was explaining that story to you, I was literally reliving the whole thing over again. It's so funny. I would really encourage you to watch that video. In fact, I'm going to link it down below in the top of the comments section. I'll put a link there to that video. I think it's super funny. Seriously, you've got to watch it. It's just like you're going to laugh your head off when you see me then and me now, how different I am and how much I've grown as a result of facing something that I was so scared to do. And now here I am, and I've just like transformed my life as a result of it. I'm, for the most part, I can talk to pretty much anybody. I can talk about something. I mean, I can't promise that anything I'm going to talk about is at all interesting, but I can at least talk to people. I can at least speak, whereas in before I was so scared to even talk to anybody. It was just like unbelievable. It's just like an amazing transformation I've seen in myself over the last 3.5 years. My point is with this story, I was faced with enormous adversity in my life. I was losing my vision. And now, I mean, I actually had a little bit of vision back then. I virtually have like no vision at this point. I can see very bright lights and that's about it. In fact, I can't even really see the light that's behind the camera. I think I'm looking at it right now, but I'm not sure. My point is, if you're faced with adversity, get creative. Seriously, please, get creative. Sit down with some paper and a pen. Just start writing. Write down whatever it is that you're facing. Get creative. Start thinking of some ideas. And now I understand. I don't want to minimize anything. I totally understand. Sometimes there's some things that people are facing you just can't get around. I totally get it. But for the most part, get into a creative mindset. Get creative. Start thinking of ideas. Start imagining things. Start daydreaming of different things. And you'll be surprised with some of the ideas and concepts you'll come up with. You'll start to get excited. It'll start putting you into this mood where you want to start moving toward these inspirations. And you never know maybe in 3.5 years from now, you'll be sitting here making YouTube videos with a couple 100,000 subscribers and millions of channel views. I don't know. It's an amazing opportunity. So my point is, just get creative. If you're faced with an adversity, if you're faced with a setback, if you're faced with misfortune, get creative. Seriously, use your imagination. Start thinking of some cool ideas, and it'll excite you. You'll want to start to do more. You'll want to start to deploy some different ideas and concepts in your life. Anyway, I hope this inspired you a little bit. I hope it gets you thinking a little bit. But either way, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. It's an awesome community. Subscribe down below, like what I'm doing, like in this video. I still have a hard time speaking sometimes. I mean, get it. How many times have I messed up words that I'm trying to say? You know what I mean? I mean, go back and watch the video again if you want. I stumble all the time. But my point is, a lot of times I'm so excited when I make these videos, I try to talk faster than what my brain and my mouth can actually keep up with. So a lot of times I'm saying words that I don't even mean to say because it's like I'm 5 steps ahead of myself and my mouth can't keep up, if that makes sense at all. So anyway, it's mostly because I'm just really excited all the time, right? Anyway, subscribe down below. I'm going to wrap this thing up, but get creative. Seriously, join the community. I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I hope this gets you thinking and hope it gets you inspired. But thanks again for being here. I really appreciate it. Subscribe down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.